not attempt to adjust your dial. Ba-da-bum-bum-bum. It's your boy Big Vern. This is App Stupid, the fastest growing sports and entertainment show on these YouTube streets. You're welcome. Holla at us. Boy Big Vern coming to you on a frigid Monday here in the Midwest. It's a huge show today. We got that. We got the burn segments running. So we got the show within the show going down. So make sure you check that out. Last segment, we talked about the Oregon Ducks. They are who the hell I thought they were. They make short work of the Minnesota Golden Gophers and Goldie. And they were not playing. Yeah, Ducks are a real dangerous team now that they've gotten a lot of guys back from injury. The college football playoff is upon you. They're going to be on the road. They have a timing offense. And Dan Lanning and the boys in Eugene are very scary. Very scary. Then Georgia does away with Texas. Texas Longhorns, this isn't their year. They'll be in a high-ranking bowl game, but that's about it. There will be no SEC championship game. There will be no playoffs. They just don't have the resume to get there. Then Mike Elko and the Aggies, they have the most ridiculous comeback in being down 27 points at halftime, coming all the way back and beating the South Carolina Gamecocks 31-30. That was wild. That was wild. And before that, we talked about Devin the Dream Haney. He is projected by the App Stupid Studios to be victorious November the 22nd against Brian Norman Jr. by stoppage for the WBO championship at 147 pounds. So from the world of the Big Ten, we pivot and go right back to the SEC because Oklahoma upset Alabama. And this threw the bottom of the pecking order. Who's going to make it to the college playoffs? It put a lot of things in play, and we'll break that down when we get back from a quick 20. It's your boy Big Vern. Give me a beat. What up? It's your boy Big Vern coming to you live from the App Stupid Studios. We're promoting a new rap album this month. Lloyd Banks, HHVI, The Six of Swords, in stores now. Get it where you legally consume music, whether it be Apple Music, Google Play, or Spotify. My personal favorites on the track is Eat What You Kill, If Time Permits, Haddonfield, Die Slow, Changed Up, The Eye Test. Lloyd Banks, HHVI, The Six of Swords, in stores now. Make sure you go ahead and get Lloyd Banks. Shout out to that brother. He was doing his thing. But Oklahoma was able to go ahead and pull off the upset against Alabama, 23-21 in Tuscaloosa. Now, you all know my thoughts on this whole Alabama season, that they did everything that they could do to give Alabama the chances of getting into the college playoff because they didn't make it last year. So every game that Alabama had this year that was a step-up game against a ranked opponent, they had them at home. So you could kind of see where this was going. Now, I knew that something was wrong when they had Oklahoma as a 6.5-point favorite over the Crimson Tide. And if you look at the way that this thing ran out, Alabama lost to a team that that just had 74 yards of rushing. Oklahoma was only able to rush 74 yards on that Crimson Tide defense. Now, Alabama wasn't much better. The run game never got going for them. They only had 80 yards in rushing. I can't recall a time in recent memory where Alabama didn't rush for more than 100 yards. And it was just that it seemed like Brent Venables, he had Kalen Dober's number. And whatever way they wanted to go. Now, the biggest thing for the Tide was the fumbles, the interceptions. And I know when they're looking ahead on the schedule and they're just like, okay, we got Oklahoma, they're coming off of a loss, they're not really that good, they're going to go ahead and do all of these things and go forward. It seemed for a minute that was going to be the narrative that carried the day. And it wasn't. It really wasn't. And if you look at the way that this thing shook out, Oklahoma seemed like when they came out in the first quarter and punched Alabama in the face and went up 10-0, you thought that the Crimson Tide didn't have anything. The Crimson Tide looked like they were shocked. They looked like deers in the headlights. They were caught with their pants down. And out of nowhere. In that second quarter, they put up 14 points. But going into the half, this thing was 7-14. Again, it was really tight. It was really tight. It could have went either way. Then in the third quarter, Alabama comes out and they score again. The problem was that's the last score they had. Football is a 4-quarter game. And while Alabama was content to just take the fourth quarter off, Oklahoma, they were not. And if you want to go ahead and look at how everybody came and put things together, you had Mr. John Mateer. He was out there having himself a game, 15 of 23, 438 yards, no scores, no interceptions. He also ran 10 times for 23 yards and a score. Again, if it's not getting done through the air, you got to do it on the ground. You had Xavier Robinson, 10 grabs, 34 yards, no score. Then you had Satinga. He had a grab and 21 yards. Just like I said, an absolute, they fought. And when it's not going particularly well on the road, you got to go ahead and do something. There were 5 different wide receivers for the Sooners that were in double digit yardage. Again, it was not working on the road. They did just enough to go ahead and fight and keep their head above water. And if you're looking at the standings of the SEC right now, you've got A&M, they're at the top of the heap, the king of the road. Then you've got Georgia. Then there's Ole Miss. Now you have Alabama and Texas. And then Oklahoma. However, Alabama just lost to Oklahoma. And with you have a couple of games left now, when you have 2 games left, Oklahoma gets Missouri and they have LSU. Now for the Alabama Crimson Tide, they have no other ranked opponents. They have Auburn, which is at the bottom of the SEC, and then Eastern Illinois. I don't know why. I have no clue why. However, Alabama may have cost themselves a trip to the college playoffs, because if you're going to take the top 4 from the SEC, if in the event that Alabama lines up with the same record as Oklahoma now has a win over Alabama that would catapult them beyond Texas, and then that would put them right above Alabama. The reason being is that they lost to Texas. Nobody saw that coming. That was Texas. That was one of their key wins. Thumbs up to those guys. However, they beat Alabama, and Alabama's ranked ahead of Texas in the SEC. You see where I'm going with that? And then when you look at Texas only has 2 opponents left. They still have to play A&M. So if Texas, you're banking on them losing. Alabama is going to be in they're going to be in a dead heat with Oklahoma. And if that's the case, Oklahoma is going to get the nod to make it into the college playoffs over the Crimson Tide if they end up with the same record, because they would be ahead of them in the division. So that game had huge implications. And I just told you how that thing is going to go. Sooner fans, get in the comments. Let me know what you think. It's your boy, Big Vern. Again, if you are listening to this pod, get in the comments. Let us know, did we get it right? What did we leave out? This is Big Vern. We talk back. We'll be back. Top of the hour. This is your boy, Big Vern at App Stupid.